Washington House Bill 2076 was passed in 2022 via a backdoor deal between the union, Democrats, and Uber and Lyft. Drivers got a small raise statewide, and the market became a monopoly to the only large companies that can afford sick pay when they also passed SB 5793 in 2024. The current 2025 state rideshare pay guarantees are $1.34 per mile plus 39 cents per minute, or between $1.73 to $2.51 gross per mile, traveling between 1 minute per mile, 60 miles per hour, to 3 minutes per mile, 20 miles per hour, respectively, while the enforced Seattle taxi minimum is currently $2.70 per mile no matter what speed, plus an additional 50 cents per minute in traffic, even though the city's TNC drivers make as little as $2.27 per mile, and the faster you travel, the less you make when your fare should triple like taxi. ReadyCab in Olympia charges $4 per mile up to $240 at 60 miles per hour, plus an additional 75 cents per minute or $45 per hour at a light or when reserved for a rider running an errand. Not even Seattle's delivery app rates are fair at $28.40 to $31.20 taxable net per hour for 20 to 60 miles in 60 minutes. Washington drivers should make at least 200% times minimum wage plus the standard mileage cost per the IRS up to 3 minutes per mile for a minimum of $2.36.6 per mile up to 3 minutes per mile plus an additional 55.5 cents per minute, like when you're at a light or paused in traffic, for example, like taxis, to net at least 200% times the minimum wage after the standard cost per mile before tax. Uber and Lyft evidently aren't going to pay more than they have to, especially with the unique sick pay benefits expense requirement. Lyft would pay $85.16 for a trip from Longview, Washington to Portland International Airport, when it should be $115.93 minimum at $2.36.6 per mile minimum. 49 miles costs $34.30 at 70 cents per mile minimum according to the IRS in 2025. Divide the net average by the time traveled per mile for the value of the time. $85.16 gross becomes between 34.5 cents and $1.03.7 cents per minute, or roughly $21 to $62 per hour before tax. $115.93 is between the aforementioned 200% times minimum wage at 55.5 cents to $1.66 per minute, or roughly $33 to $100 taxable net per hour. Minimum wage is 27.76 cents per minute, and tax is unavoidable. The $1.72 cents per minute after cost would actually net 366% times minimum wage for only $61 per hour before tax, for spending 49 miles in 50 minutes of your time, not counting a possible trip back, which is the reason to expect a more reasonable profit per mile after cost and tax. This is exactly why I refuse to drive for Lyft and Uber and founded my own startup you and others can use on our own terms now. Be your own boss. Be the change.